Right-wingers are once again pretending context does not exist. The latest meltdown centers around Owen Jones. Now, let's look at a clip being shared online, shall we?
What else was Hamas supposed to do on the 7th of October?
Now, notice that clip was 4 seconds long. 4 seconds. And that clip was shared, and we had people responding with this. Koshna Cockney said, "Is this man mentally ill? What else was Hamas supposed to do on the 7th of October? How about not raping, burning alive, beheading, and kidnapping Jews, Owen? How about that, you disgusting, repugnant, disgusting little man?" Well, first of all, there was no evidence of rape, beheading, and burning. I mean, that's not downplaying crimes. That's having journalistic integrity. And a lot of the crimes that were accused of what happened on October 7th is what Israel has done. Last year, I watched a teenager burned to death because Israel struck a hospital. You want to talk about rapes? How about the facts that reported in the Navarre media? Dogs are trained to rape Palestinians. What about the IDF soldiers who were acquitted when they raped a Palestinian with a knife? But of course, you know, the Zionists, they don't care about that. Eve Bartlow, who is a Fox News contributor, the viewers are well aware of her. She gave her 2 pence. You have to be so far gone to think you have the moral high ground here. Well, they tried. I mean, these right-wingers really, really tried. But we all know that this is a clip that's being completely taken out of context. Anyone with half a brain cell would know that. Owen Jones obviously isn't letting this slide. You shared this clip last July. You know it has been taken out of context so that the meaning is reversed. So why don't you stop lying to your followers and publish the full clip? No surprises there. So let's do just that. Let's take a look at the full clip.
I find this question offensive if I put it to you. If I had said to you, in 2023, 240 Palestinians had been killed that year by the Israeli state, including 40 children, what else was Hamas supposed to do on the 7th of October? What would you say?
Are you justified?
No, that's the point. I'm saying you would say correctly, there was never any excuse for war crimes. This is an outrageous question for you to
Completely out of context. He's literally saying that as a rhetorical device. But look, if you ever see someone share a 4-second clip of a debate, just disregard it. Just disregard it. I mean, what have you got to hide? I mean, the clip makes it abundantly clear that he was not endorsing the October 7th attacks. He was criticizing the selective moral framing used by mainstream interviewers and commentators when discussing Palestinian resistance and Israeli state violence. But are you surprised that Zionists are lying? No. One of the most frustrating things about media coverage of Palestine is the way history constantly begins at the most convenient Western political narratives. The conversation always starts on October 7th. It's called datification. As though Palestinians simply emerged from a vacuum one morning and decided violence for no reason sounded appealing. Meanwhile, the years of blockade, occupation, displacement, military bombardment, illegal settlements, and the deaths of Palestinian civilians beforehand are either minimized or erased entirely. Even major critiques of Western media coverage have pointed out that Palestinian suffering is routinely stripped of historical context in mainstream reporting. And that is exactly the points Owen Jones was making. But of course, we can't expect a Fox News reporter to understand that. Ben, I mean, the right-wingers, they're quaking in their boots. I mean, they're sharing 4-second clips to discredit Owen Jones, but it gets the clicks, it gets the views. I want to get your reactions.
It's pathetic, isn't it? Okay, first of all, I think a message to Owen, to Sangita Maiska, to the many, many journalists who have actually stood up and taken a stand for Palestinian rights, but also have pushed for the lost art of journalistic analysis and critical journalism. My solidarity with you. Honestly, my goddamn solidarity with you, because I cannot wait for the day that everyone pretends that they always agreed with you. And I want to be there calling out the people who just lied through their teeth or are going to lie through their teeth and say that they agreed with you. Because so many voices have chosen oppression. They've chosen hate. They have chosen genocide. They've chosen to support a genocide. They've chosen to look at history, look at the facts of how genocide happens. There's no excuse at this point. At this point, if you are still defending Israel, you're still defending the crimes of Israel, you're fucking scum. And I think the people who clipped this, there's no way, absolutely no way, that they didn't know what they were doing when they took Owen's clip out of context. Absolutely no way. They knew exactly what they were doing. And I think one of the only answers to this has to be, first of all, X is a cesspit. And second of all, we need to start thinking about nationalizing our media space because, and I will make this brief, but I think it is an interesting discussion that we should have another time. Anyone could be a victim of deepfakes and of clipping these days. You or I, anybody who appears on any media show, somebody who's interviewed in the street can be a victim of clipping or deepfakes to completely reverse the meaning of what they said. And I think the only way that we can regulate that, the only way we can stop that taking over our media space is by taking it out of the hands of the oligarchs so that they can't fill it with bots who will boost this bullshit. And poor Owen has to go through under each comment and reply with the video with the full context because X doesn't do the correct thing and immediately put a community note on that saying this clip is taken out of context, here's the full context. We needed a democratic control of our media spaces. The online world is one of the only ones where we just accept the fact that billionaires and large companies just control it all. And we need to be like pushing back against that. If I was in charge of the UK government, one of the things that I would do, obviously there's a lot of things that I would do, but one of the things that I would do is create a democratic social media platform that's run by, say, the state, nationalized at first, and then we can look at like cooperative ownership or something like that in the long run, to stop this sort of thing happening, and to make sure that we don't have to waste our time dealing with idiots. Because today it's Owen Jones being clipped out of context. But tomorrow, the people who are clipping Owen Jones out of context could find themselves clipped out of context. It's a feudal system that is just the worst one to deal with. And no one wants to live in a feudal society. This is precisely why we came up with systems of democracy and legitimizing the legitimate authority being placed in the sovereignty of all people to act collectively. If we apply that in our everyday lives, there's no reason why we shouldn't apply that to the online world. And a big fuck you to the people who clipped Owen Jones out of context to try and make him look like he was justifying war crimes when he was actually doing the opposite and saying that one war crime doesn't justify another.